All right, so I got all these parts urethane sealed. I ran into some issues, so I had to stop last night. So I'm gonna go with some gray Scotch-Brite and scuff all this up, and then we're gonna do the base coat out of the LPHs and the clear coat out of the 400. So probably this side I'm gonna do with the old school caps, and then this side I'm gonna do with the X caps. And we'll do a spray out to test the fan before we get started. Alright, so we got the LPH400, LV4 cap, 29 PSI, full fan, full fluid. Alright, now let's paint with it. Alright, so now we got the LVX cap, 29 PSI. Looks like a little better fan on this one. Let's see how it sprays. Now we got the W400 LV4, 29 PSI. Nice wide pad on there. Let's see how it sprays. Last but not least, we got the W400 WBX, 29 PSI. It looks like even just maybe a hair bigger fan than the LV4. Let's see how it sprays.
So I'm here with fucking paint on my face. I still have another coat of clear to do, but my cameraman's gotta leave. So I figured I'd give a rundown of my first impressions. First off, this one, the LPH400 LV4, it's just slow. It sprays slow. The fan sucks. I don't care much for it. I'm probably just gonna use this for wet bed, you know, wet beds, intercoat clears, and you know, maybe just another gun to kick around. Use it for epoxy sealer, you know. This one for base, the LPH400 LVX, was nice. It sprayed faster than that one. It had a wider fan. It seemed to have a finer atomization. And not only that, it liked lower pressure. This one, it was hard for me to get it to spray under 29 PSI. Just wouldn't put the fluid on there the way I wanted it to. This one ran better at 25 pounds than this one did at 30.
Which one is that one?
This is the LVX air cap. Now onto the clear. This one's kind of what I had anticipated. This used to be my only gun. I used to spray everything through it. And like I showed earlier with the air hole sizes, this one has the smallest out of all of them. So it lays down clear very well, but it likes high pressure and it's a fog machine. But it moves fast. I mean, it just puts it on there really fast. This one, and that was the LV4 W400. The WBX W400 kind of seems to be in the middle. It likes closer to 25 PSI, whereas this one will chug up 29, 30, no problem. It has a little bit wider of a fan, but it doesn't move quite as fast. So I feel like this gun for clear coat, it's kind of a trade-off. It doesn't create a giant plume of fog quite as bad as that one does, although both the W400s definitely chew it up. But it also doesn't move quite as fast. But first impressions, it's smashing the clear on there, and it's looking really slick, and I really think I can get used to it. And honestly, I think I'm gonna move to this gun for my sealer, and you start using this gun for clear, because that's how much I'm liking it. It's actually what I sealed all of this with, but I figured the comparison would get too, you know, convoluted and long-winded if I went to the extent of trying them all with sealer against each other. So I think I'll start sealing with this, and this will just be a backup gun for wet beds and epoxy and random shit. Good gun. I've got to say lastly too, I do completes, I do big surface areas, I like to move it. This LPH400 LV4 would be a really good gun for bumpers or small spot jobs, the way it doesn't quite pump it on super fast. So yeah, and then really thin materials like adhesion promoter and wet bed clears, stuff like that. Epoxy sealer where you're not really trying to pound it on there, you're not really trying to get coverage. So yeah, this might just be my bumper gun or just my random stuff gun. But yeah, overall, I think these two are the best. If I was to buy two, I think these would be the two I'd buy. The LVX and the WBX. It makes sense. These are the older versions of the guns. These are kind of the updated versions. Those guys know what they're doing. They put a lot of time and money and research into this shit. So heaven forbid they know what they're doing. And like I said with the air cap demonstration, the only difference between these guns really is the 4 slots in the tip versus the 3. So I haven't sprayed clear out of this, and I haven't sprayed base out of this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if I switch it up, if they're gonna spray any different. The one thing, if you're just looking for like an at-home usage gun, this one might be better because of the small holes. It might not chew up the air quite as bad. But another thing to consider is that this is like over $600 retail, and yet you can find one of these for just under $4. So I don't know, to save a couple $100 for a gun that's basically the same as this, I don't know. It doesn't have the nice chrome body on it. It's got a flat finish, but I'm not too worried about that. Does that make sense? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying, Caden?
I think we're gonna get better at this as time goes on.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about either.